You begin in a place so still that even your thoughts seem to float, unanchored, like tiny specks of dust drifting on a slow cosmic breeze. You let your breath soften, feeling the inhale stretch lightly through your chest and the exhale fall like a warm curtain. In this quiet, darkness is not an emptiness but a gentle room, a place where the universe dims the lights so you can settle into its vast, patient silence. You sense yourself moving without effort, gliding through the dark as though the space around you has become water, calm, cool, and endlessly deep. These shapes drift with no hurry at all, turning slowly, calmly, as if they have spent billions of years practicing the art of not rushing. You approach them the way you might approach old trees in a forgotten orchard, each one floating through the void with patient dignity. Their surfaces are mottled and quiet. Their paths are unclaimed and unbothered. You breathe again, slower, sensing how the stillness deepens the closer you get. It feels as though the universe itself wants you to move gently, to match the rhythm of its drifting stones. You glide past the first asteroid, its body shaped like a crooked, sleeping fruit, its craters deep and soft with shadow. A faint glow touches its edges, light that left the sun many minutes ago, now settling on this drifting stone like dew on bark. You imagine reaching out, your fingers brushing the surface, feeling the coolness of metal-rich rock formed long before Earth ever existed. There is something tender in this thought, and it draws your breath into an even calmer cadence. Long inhale, slow exhale, a small, sleepy smile on your face as you drift past. The cosmic orchard stretches in every direction. Some asteroids are small, like seeds tossed across a garden. Others loom large, slow-rotating giants, each a testament to the solar system's early collisions, fusions, and near-misses. You sense stories inside them, stories of molten beginnings, of powdered minerals cooling into quiet permanence. The science arrives gently, like soft notes in a distant song. These asteroids are relics of planetary formation, fragments that never merged into larger worlds. In their drifting silence, they hold memories of conditions that shaped everything you know. As you drift between two large bodies, you notice the subtle movement of dust, particles following the faintest gravitational pull, dancing like tiny motes caught in sunbeams. You allow yourself a small laugh, a sleepy one, wondering if even cosmic dust sometimes forgets where it's going. But the dust doesn't seem bothered by its drift, and its carefree motion reminds you that there is no need for direction when the universe is patient. You settle into that patience, letting it seep into your muscles, loosening any last whisper of tension. You move deeper into the orchard, and the darkness develops layers. Some parts feel velvety, others cool and crystalline. When your eyes adjust, the textures of the asteroids reveal fine details, streaks of metal, patches of carbon-rich rock, veins of silicate shimmering faintly under solar light. You imagine peeling back these layers like the rind of some ancient fruit, though you do it only in your mind, with softness and respect. These rocks have drifted for eons without being touched, and simply being near them feels like witnessing the slow heartbeat of the early solar system. Now and then, a slow tumble of an asteroid reveals a bright glint, a tiny flash reflecting off a metallic surface. These glints feel like tiny winks from the orchard, small signs that the universe enjoys a bit of humor now and then. You breathe in the faint warmth of sunlight, carried lightly through the vacuum on your imagination alone. Even in a place where air does not travel and sound does not echo, you feel warmth shimmer across your thoughts. You realize that this orchard is not silent. It hums, quietly, with the feeling of motion. A distant resonance of orbits and rotations and gravitational interactions forms a kind of cosmic music. It is a slow melody, one you feel rather than hear. It reminds you how everything here dances at a pace guided by timescales far beyond your own. You drift in harmony with it, as though joining an ancient waltz. The science deepens gently. You see how asteroids are categorized, some rich in metal, some in carbon, some in silicate. You sense their differences the way you sense the different trees in a garden, each with its own character, its own quiet gifts. You imagine the metallic ones as heavy, glistening fruits, the carbonaceous ones as soft, dark seeds carrying organic molecules, the stony ones as firm, textured branches. Each type tells a story about the early solar system's ingredients and the gentle chaos that shaped them. As you continue gliding, your breath becomes an anchor. Inhale, feel the vastness. Exhale, feel the release. The orchard embraces your pace, matching its serenity to yours. You feel small, but in a comforting way, like a quiet visitor in an ancient, sprawling garden. The rocks do not ask anything of you. They simply drift, inviting you to witness their slow existence. You notice one asteroid with a surface that reminds you of cracked old wood. Another looks smoother, almost polished by time. Each new detail feels like discovering a new ring in the trunk of a cosmic tree. You let your mind wander to the ways humans might one day approach these drifting trees. Very gently, you imagine spacecraft easing close, extending tools designed with precision and patience. But you stay with the metaphor for now. Humans becoming gardeners in a cosmic orchard, harvesting without harm, touching without haste. The idea feels soothing, strangely hopeful. If humanity could learn to treat these ancient fruits with care, perhaps we could learn to treat our own world with similar tenderness. Your breath deepens as the chapter nears its close. You sense a gentle pull toward the next idea, like a path winding between orchard trees. These asteroids are more than drifting stones. They are treasures of metal and mineral, waiting with quiet patience. And as you drift onward, a soft curiosity awakens. What exactly lies inside these cosmic fruits? What shimmer? What memory? What ancient metal waits beneath their rugged skins? You glide forward, guided by that gentle question, carried by your breath, drifting toward the next chapter in this vast and patient orchard. The thought lingers like a warm ember in your mind, glowing softly as you float onward. You imagine the fruits of this orchard not as resources to be taken, but as stories waiting to be read, chapters written in metal, stone, and silence. As you drift, you feel the hush of space wrap around you like a gentle blanket. The journey is only beginning, and each breath carries you closer to understanding the quiet richness of these celestial trees. You drift deeper into the cosmic orchard, your breath soft and steady, as though the vacuum itself encourages you to slow down. Your inhale stretches gently, and your exhale settles like dust finding its place on a quiet shelf. Ahead of you floats another asteroid, not large, not small, just a patient wanderer turning slowly in the sunlight. From a distance, it looks like a dusky, ancient fruit, shaped by time rather than intention. Its surface glints in subtle flashes, quiet hints of metals buried within. You move closer, drawn not by urgency but by a calm curiosity, the kind that feels like gently parting leaves in a sleeping garden. As you approach, the texture reveals itself. Rough ridges like old bark, faint metallic veins running across its skin, dark patches where carbon-rich minerals settled long ago. You breathe steadily, letting each detail arrive without hurry. You imagine the asteroid as a fruit ripened over billions of years, its metals forming in the early solar nebula when dust and pebbles fused under gentle collisions. These metals, nickel, iron, traces of platinum group elements, are not scattered randomly. They sit in slow, ancient patterns, like lines of sweetness inside a cosmic peach. The orchard metaphor wraps around you again, warm and familiar, grounding you in the drifting silence. You circle around it, noticing how sunlight slides across its surface, revealing tiny sparkles. These sparkles are not dramatic. They're shy, soft, almost polite. They remind you of dew reflecting the first morning light. You let out a small, sleepy laugh, imagining the asteroid trying to show off but refusing to be flashy. The more you look, the more you see that these metals hold stories. Not loud stories, but quiet ones written in atomic structures that haven't changed since the solar system's earliest days. You touch the idea gently. Holding even a small sample would be like holding a fragment of the universe's childhood. You feel the breath rise in your chest and settle again, as though syncing with the slow rotation of the asteroid. You begin to understand why these cosmic fruits matter. Metals like nickel and iron are foundational, forming cores of planets, forming the backbone of tools, ships, and machines back on Earth. Platinum group elements, though much rarer, guide chemical reactions, stabilizing processes in ways almost invisible but deeply essential. Yet here, in the orchard, these metals drift freely, carried through space in calm isolation. The contrast soothes you. What is precious and scarce on Earth is simply drifting here, unclaimed, unhurried. You float close enough now to imagine brushing your hand across the surface. In your mind's touch, it feels cool, grainy, slightly magnetic beneath the stone. You imagine tiny metallic grains clinging to your glove the way fine sand sticks to a seashell. You shift your position, letting the sunlight fall behind you, and the asteroid becomes softly backlit. Its silhouette resembles a fruit hanging from an invisible branch, waiting with quiet patience for someone to understand it. You breathe slower, comforted by the idea that nothing in space is ever truly wasted. Everything drifts, waits, becomes something new in its own time. A gentle humor nudges you when a small pebble-sized fragment floats nearby, tumbling in a lazy spin. It looks like the orchard has dropped a little snack for you. You imagine it whispering, "Try me, I'm vintage." You smile, feeling sleepiness deepen around your thoughts. Even here, in the deep quiet, there is room for lightness. You allow science to drift into your awareness, softly, like leaves falling through still air. Metals within asteroids formed through processes called differentiation and accretion, but you don't hold onto the words too tightly. You imagine instead the heat of early collisions melting material, allowing metal to sink inward and rock to rise outward. Over time, impacts shattered some of those bodies, scattering their metallic cores like seeds through the orchard. These fragments are what we now call M-type asteroids, rich in shiny, dense promise. Your mind wanders, picturing humanity one day gliding through this orchard with tools designed to pluck these fruits gently. You see robotic arms extending slowly, magnetic collectors humming softly, lasers mapping surfaces with delicate precision. You picture future explorers moving with the same calm patience you feel now. In this moment, the idea doesn't feel ambitious or greedy. It feels like participation, like tending a garden that has been waiting for caretakers who know how to move softly. You continue drifting, breathing, circling the metallic fruit. A warm, imaginary light glows across your thoughts, even though the actual sunlight is faint and distant. You sense how planetary scientists discovered metal-rich asteroids by observing how they reflect radar signals, how their density affects their motion, how their surfaces hint at iron-nickel mixtures. But here, floating beside one, you don't need measurements. You feel its weightlessness, its silence, its unassuming presence. You sense that beneath its rough skin lies shimmering structure, ordered and ancient. Your breath deepens again. Every inhale feels like drawing in stardust. Every exhale feels like letting go of centuries. The orchard metaphor expands gently. The metals inside these asteroids are like nutrients stored in fruit, waiting to nourish future travelers. They could build spacecraft frames, power systems, tools, habitats, everything needed to stretch humanity farther into the cosmos. But for now, the orchard simply waits. There is no rush, no competition, just drifting trees, drifting fruits, drifting possibilities. You imagine holding a piece of this asteroid, a small metallic pebble, in your palm. It would be older than every mountain on Earth, older than every ocean, older than the Earth itself. You picture its coolness, its subtle grain, the faint lines marking its crystallization. The thought brings a strange comfort, how something so small can hold such immensity. You laugh softly, thinking the orchard keeps its own time, offering snacks that take billions of years to ripen. You feel yourself moving on, gliding slowly away from the metallic fruit. The asteroid rotates behind you, continuing its unhurried journey through the dark. You sense that more fruits lie ahead, each with different textures, different stories. Your breath synchronizes with the idea, drawing in anticipation, releasing in calm curiosity. You are not leaving the orchard. You are drifting deeper into it. As you move forward, the question settles gently beside you. If humanity learns to gather these fruits with care, how might it change our future? You don't force an answer. You simply carry the question like a small, glowing seed in your mind. Ahead of you, another asteroid waits, shaped strangely like a bent branch. You drift toward it, ready to learn how humanity might approach these wandering stones without disturbing the orchard's quiet balance. And with that thought warm in your chest, you slip softly into the next chapter, where the act of touching a drifting stone becomes its own kind of cosmic patience. You drift forward, deeper into the velvet darkness, and the space around you settles into a quiet that feels almost like a held breath. The stars soften into distant lanterns, and the asteroids you passed earlier now feel like the outer branches of a vast, ancient orchard. Here, in this silent region, the metal fruits of space become less like objects and more like presences, slow-moving shapes wrapped in soft halos of dust and light. You float among them as though moving through the calmest, deepest grove imaginable. You inhale gently, you exhale even more gently, and the whole cosmos seems to breathe with you. The silence of the asteroid belt is not an empty silence. It's a full one, filled with history, minerals, frozen memory. Each rock is a long-forgotten seed from the early days of the solar system. Each carries the heavy metals that worlds are made of. And you, gliding between them, feel like a caretaker wandering through ancient trees, the minerals hidden in the quiet. As you move closer to a slow-tumbling asteroid, you notice its surface shimmering faintly, like brushed stone under moonlight. There's no sound here, no wind, no pressure. Just the soft dance of reflected sunlight. Inside these drifting stones rest the minerals that fuel entire civilizations back home. Iron locked in stillness, nickel sleeping in the cold, platinum group metals waiting within tiny veins that trace through their bodies like quiet rivers. You touch nothing, but you sense everything, the way the metals formed in older stars long before Earth existed, the way supernovae scattered them like stardust seeds, the way they drifted for billions of years until gravity gathered them into these wandering fruits of the sky. The orchard metaphor returns naturally, wrapping around your thoughts like a warm scarf. These aren't just rocks. They are harvests from stellar generations. You breathe slowly, letting the idea settle. You're floating through the leftovers of creation. Sensory stillness. With no atmosphere to carry sound, everything is quiet enough that your heartbeat feels like a soft drum in your body. The light around you is steady, unblinking, and smooth. Shadows don't flutter. They simply exist, calm and sharp. You reach out, not physically but mentally, toward one asteroid passing just below you. The surface rises and falls subtly, like a frozen wave. The gentle motion of its slow spin feels almost like the turning of a planet-sized fruit, ripening over millions of years in the cool darkness. You notice tiny flecks sparkling across its crust, bits of pure metal exposed over endless time. They glimmer the way morning dew might on a branch, except here the light is from a faraway sun, and the dew is iron older than any mountain. You breathe in. The image settles deeper. You breathe out. Your body loosens even more. The art of observing without hurry. There is no race here, no rush, no urgency. Even though humans call it the race for asteroid mining, out here the only rhythm that matters is the slow turning of rock against sunlight. You drift alongside a cluster of smaller fragments, pebbles compared to the giants like fallen fruit scattered near the base of a tree. They rotate lazily, each carrying their own tiny worlds of metal-rich memory. Their motions are simple, unbothered. They've never known storms or seasons or decay, just quiet drifting. Here, your thoughts become slower, softer. Observing becomes a kind of meditation. Everything feels unhurried enough that understanding grows on its own. The origins of metal. As you watch the asteroid spin, you recall the science you've been moving toward gently, the origins of metals themselves. Not through charts or equations, but through imagery. Heavy metals like platinum, gold, and iridium are not common children of ordinary stars. They're born in rare, cataclysmic events, neutron star collisions, supernova cores, moments where gravity and heat become so intense that atoms are pressed into heavier forms. In those moments, the universe forges the elements that later become circuitry, engines, jewelry, medicine, satellites, and eventually, the very asteroid drifting under your quiet gaze. You imagine those metals cooling, drifting, gathering. Then slowly, patiently, binding into the rock beneath you. A cosmic harvest formed long before anyone existed to harvest it. The drift between branches. You gently push off with the softest thought of motion, just enough to glide to another asteroid. The surface is darker, more shadowed. Its minerals lie deeper inside, unseen yet present. You sense the density through the way it reflects sunlight, a little heavier, a little colder. Every asteroid is different, shaped by its origin, by collisions, by time. Like trees that grow differently depending on where they rooted, these stones carry unique histories. The metaphor wraps around you again. You are walking through an orchard of worlds that never became worlds. Each asteroid is a world that could have been, a fragment that never gathered enough mass, a half-formed seed that stayed as it was. Instead of becoming planets, they became archives. And now you're moving through them like a gentle librarian in a cosmic library. A soft transition into what comes next. As you drift farther, the asteroids begin to stretch into thinner clusters. The grove begins to open. The silence remains, but the sense of closeness shifts into something wider, something more spacious. You can feel the next chapter waiting, not rushing you, simply inviting you. A question begins forming at the edge of your mind. How do humans actually gather these cosmic metals without breaking the orchard silence? The thought is like the faint glow of dawn, soft and uncertain, but full of curiosity. You take one last slow breath, letting the drifting stones fade gently around you. And as you exhale, you cross a threshold, moving toward the next part of your journey, where the tools of harvesting enter the story. If you want to continue, you drift into a quieter stretch of space where the asteroids thin out, and the darkness feels softer, almost velvety. The orchard of drifting metal fruits stretches behind you, and ahead lies something new. Faint silhouettes, geometric and patient, suspended in the dark like lanterns hung between the stars. You breathe in slowly. You breathe out even slower. And as your vision adjusts, you begin to see them clearly. The tools humans send to harvest the metals of the silent orchard. They don't look like machines in the usual sense. Out here, everything must obey the stillness. Everything must blend into the cosmic calm. The gentle arrivals. The first thing you notice is how quietly these machines move. No rushing engines. No burning exhaust. Just the soft press of sunlight against wide metallic wings. Solar panels glowing like petals. They drift toward asteroids the way a careful hand reaches toward delicate fruit. Small, steady movements. Calm approaches. Nothing abrupt. You sense how the sunlight acts like breath for these explorers. A constant inhaling of energy. A steady exhaling of power to their engines. Their slow approach toward an asteroid feels like a bow. A respectful greeting to a stone that has been waiting billions of years. Mapping the metal within. As one craft nears the surface, small instruments unfold like blossoms opening. They don't scrape. They don't stab. They simply listen, to temperature, to reflected light, to tiny magnetic whispers rising from the rock. These tools sense the metals the way your fingertips might sense warmth. They read the asteroid's density by watching how it turns. They scan for richer veins by how it reflects invisible wavelengths of sunlight. It's scientific, but the experience feels gentle, like watching someone read a tree's age through its bark. You breathe in, imagining the instruments glowing softly. You breathe out, letting the idea settle. The orchard's fruits reveal themselves not through force, but through quiet observation, landing like a falling feather. Now you watch as one machine prepares to land. There is no dramatic touchdown, no cloud of dust, just the softest touch. Engines barely firing, legs lowering with the patience of a leaf drifting to the ground. In the absence of air, nothing rustles, nothing bends. The landing is so slow it feels like time itself is taking a breath. When its feet finally meet the surface, the asteroid doesn't even tremble. You feel your shoulders loosen. You feel your heartbeat soften. The cosmos rewards gentleness. Tiny anchors, slow motions. On Earth, machines must grip the soil. Out here, gripping is a delicate art, a kind of cosmic handshake. Little anchors bury themselves just enough to hold steady. Small harpoons sink in like roots touching soil. Arms fold around the surface, each movement slow, precise, tender. To dig too quickly would push the craft away. So everything happens in slow, feather-light motions. It's almost like pruning a branch in the orchard. Careful cuts, gentle touches, no unnecessary force. The soft glow of solar energy. You drift closer and notice the warm light shimmering across the craft's panels. Out here, sunlight is thin and pale, but enough to keep these explorers alive. Every photon becomes a sip of energy. Every pause becomes a moment to recharge. The panels angle themselves like leaves following the sun, absorbing what little light reaches this far. You can almost feel the warmth yourself, soft, faint, but steady. A warmth that belongs to patience, not urgency. Touching the stone worlds. A robotic arm extends gently, brushing the surface of the asteroid like fingertips brushing cool bark. The tools it carries are small. A drill no larger than a coin, a scoop shaped like a silver petal, a spectrometer that shines a needle-thin beam of light. Each instrument does one thing: it listens to the stone. The drill doesn't roar. It hums. A tiny vibration that travels silently through the rock. The scoop gathers grains that have slept untouched since the dawn of the solar system. You marvel at how small these tools are, yet how much they can reveal. Harvesting becomes less about force and more about attention. Less about extraction and more about understanding. The dance of microgravity. Every movement here is slow because gravity is nearly absent. Drilling creates no dust clouds, just little grains rising like gentle snowfall in reverse. Particles float upward, forming tiny halos before drifting back down in spiraling paths. It's mesmerizing, almost hypnotic. You breathe in. The grains drift upward. You breathe out. They drift down again. The orchard moves with your breath, carrying the harvest. Once tiny samples are gathered, they're sealed in small containers that look like gleaming seeds. These seeds hold clues: what metals reside within, how pure they might be, whether the asteroid is a rich fruit or a quiet, ordinary stone. The containers click into place with a soft locking sound, the only sound you can imagine in this soundless world. When the craft finally lifts away, it doesn't push hard. It simply lets go, drifting gently upward until its thrusters nudge it into slow motion. The departure feels like leaving a leaf undisturbed after examining it. Respectful, quiet, complete. Transition toward larger dreams. As you continue drifting, you sense a shift in the story. The small tools, the delicate instruments, the tiny samples, they are only the beginning. Far ahead, deeper in the orchard, something larger waits. The idea of machines big enough to carve, process, and refine metal in space, machines that could turn asteroids into resources without bringing them home, machines that could operate like mills among the branches of this cosmic grove. The thought glows faintly on the horizon of your mind. You take a slow breath, letting the anticipation be soft, not sharp. And as you exhale, you feel yourself gliding toward the next part of your journey, where the orchard becomes a workshop and the tools grow into entire floating factories. You drift onward through the orchard, past the smaller clusters of metallic fruits you observed earlier. The silence stretches around you, soft and velvety, like a blanket wrapping the cosmos. Every asteroid turns slowly, unhurried, patient. The distant sun casts faint, warm light, painting long shadows across their textured surfaces. You inhale deeply, feeling the weightless calm settle around your chest, and exhale, letting your body float in rhythm with the cosmic grove. Ahead lies a new idea. Sometimes the orchard itself might move closer, not by haste or force, but by gentle guidance. Some asteroids, small enough to respond to careful nudges, can be coaxed along their orbits, like gardeners guiding a branch towards sunlight without breaking it. You picture invisible hands of light and gravity, steady and patient, drawing the wandering fruit nearer, giving humans access while preserving the orchard's quiet dignity. You imagine a small spacecraft approaching a drifting stone, engines firing in soft pulses, each one barely stronger than a sigh. The craft attaches delicate tethers and tiny anchors, linking itself to the asteroid like ribbons tying a branch. You feel your own breathing slow, matching the gentle rhythm of its movements. Each tug is careful, considered, precise, no sudden jerks, no abrupt changes. The asteroid responds as though it understands the subtle dialogue, shifting slowly, gracefully, as if agreeing to the gentle guidance. Light itself plays a role in this patient choreography. Solar sails, stretched thin and reflective, catch photons from the distant sun, their pressure almost imperceptible but cumulative over time. You visualize these sails as enormous leaves, turning to catch the faint light, nudging the asteroid along its path, slowly, softly. You breathe in, picturing the sunlight streaming across the sails. You breathe out, feeling the warmth settle in your chest like a quiet reassurance. The universe itself can assist in this careful tending. The tools and techniques are subtle and meditative. Gravity tractors, slow and unhurried, hover near the asteroid, their mass exerting tiny, consistent pulls. Over weeks or months, the asteroid's orbit changes imperceptibly, carrying it toward a safer path. You sense the patience required. Here, speed is not virtue. Inertia, delicacy, and time are the true gardeners. You imagine yourself observing the procedure, floating in weightless serenity, letting your awareness drift over every movement without tension, without urgency. As you glide past the slowly moving asteroid, you notice its surface catching faint sunlight, highlighting veins of metal beneath. Nickel glimmers softly, iron reflects pale amber light, and scattered platinum flecks shine like tiny stars embedded in stone. The beauty is quiet, understated. You breathe deeply, imagining holding even a fragment in your hand. A sample older than the earth, older than the oceans, resting lightly in your palm. You smile faintly at the thought, amused by the idea of humans delicately harvesting fruit from a cosmic orchard, as if plucking apples from ancient trees without disturbing their roots. The metaphor grows as you watch the asteroid drift in response to nudges and pulls. Every motion feels like a dance, a slow, deliberate ballet across the orchard. You picture humans following the rhythm, letting patience guide every decision. To rush would risk breaking the harmony. To wait, to drift, to observe, that is the art of moving a wandering stone. You inhale again, feeling the calm of this deliberate movement fill your lungs. You exhale, letting your awareness ripple through the orchard like a gentle breeze. Even the tiniest forces matter here. A carefully timed burst from a thruster, a subtle tug from an anchored cable, a photon of light reflecting just so, all combine to guide the asteroid without haste. You imagine how much attention is required to synchronize these influences, and yet, in the orchard, it feels natural. You feel the hum of coordination in your own body, the way your heartbeat and breathing fall into the same rhythm as the asteroid's slow drift. You are part of this motion, softly tethered to the flow of the universe. You imagine larger concepts gently. What if an entire cluster of asteroids could be guided, moved, arranged as a gardener arranges branches or plants? What if the cosmic orchard could be curated with care, each stone preserved, each fruit respected, yet made accessible for study and harvest? The vision is vast, but the pace is calm. The orchard stretches infinitely, yet your attention remains grounded, drawn to individual fruits and their subtle shifts in the dark. Your breath deepens as you picture bringing the asteroid into closer orbit around Earth or a space station. Not in haste, not with clumsy force, but with slow, steady nudges that respect its age and trajectory. You imagine observing it over months, watching its gentle approach, noting how the light plays across its metallic veins. You feel the same awe as when you first floated among the orchard, now mingled with a sense of connection and responsibility. The orchard is alive in its own way, and you are a quiet partner in its movement. As the asteroid drifts closer, its surfaces reveal more detail. Small ridges, faint craters, glimmering metallic veins beneath the surface. You imagine these as the subtle textures of fruit ripening, patterns formed over billions of years. You inhale slowly, drawing the richness of the orchard into your awareness. You exhale, letting the wonder settle like dew on a branch. Every rotation, every micro-adjustment, Every glint of metal in sunlight is a gentle reminder that this orchard is patient, deliberate, and infinite in its quiet complexity. A thought forms at the edge of your mind, soft and teasing. Once these fruits are within reach, what comes next? How do you take a small taste without disturbing the orchard? How do you translate patience into careful harvest? The questions drift in like leaves carried by a silent breeze, and you do not push them away. Instead, you let them settle, feeling the calm rhythm of curiosity and breath flow together. In the orchard, questions do not demand answers. They float, they linger, they invite gentle exploration. You glide past the newly guided asteroid one last time, watching its path shift imperceptibly toward a safer orbit. You sense a quiet satisfaction, not of achievement, but of alignment, a harmony between human patience and cosmic drift. You inhale once more, the warmth of sunlight stretching across your chest. You exhale, letting the motion of the asteroid, the rhythm of the orchard, and your own serene heartbeat flow together. You are part of the orchard now, a gentle presence among its ancient, drifting fruits. The journey continues, and the orchard waits patiently. Ahead lies the next chapter of this dreamlike voyage, the act of opening the fruits themselves, extracting metals without breaking the orchard's delicate stillness. The anticipation is soft, a feather brushing the edge of thought. Your breath carries you forward, deeper into the orchard, where the shimmer of hidden metal lies ready to reveal its secrets. And with that, you drift onward, calm, curious, and fully immersed in the quiet wonder of space. You glide gently alongside the asteroid, now guided into a safer orbit, its slow rotation revealing glimmers of metal beneath a textured surface. The orchard surrounds you, a quiet congregation of drifting stone fruits, each one ancient, patient, and unhurried. You inhale softly, feeling the warm brush of distant sunlight in your awareness, and exhale, letting your body float in tune with the rhythm of the cosmos. Here begins a new stage, not merely observing, not merely guiding, but understanding how to open the fruits of this cosmic orchard without disturbing their delicate balance. You do not rush, you do not force, you simply approach with respect, curiosity, and the slow, meditative patience that has guided every step of your journey. Touching without hurting. You imagine tools designed to interact with these stones as lightly as fingertips brushing bark. Tiny drills, magnetic scoops, heat beams, and light pulses all exist in service of delicacy. They do not tear, they do not crack violently. They explore, they reveal, they uncover the hidden layers of metals lying beneath ancient surfaces. The asteroid responds as if in quiet conversation. Its rotation is gentle, deliberate, almost like it's offering a subtle nod in approval. Every movement is synchronized with your breath. Inhale, a small adjustment. Exhale, a patient pause. You feel yourself coasting through the orchard, watching this dialogue unfold like a slow dance between caretakers and trees. Soft science in motion. Beneath the crust of rock and dust lies a treasure of metals. Nickel veins twist through iron-rich cores. Traces of platinum, palladium, and other rare elements glint faintly beneath the surface. You don't need to measure them with numbers. You feel their presence in the subtle reflection of light, the texture of the stone, the way it responds to gentle pressure. You visualize the methods. A thin beam of concentrated sunlight warming a patch of rock until minerals loosen. Tiny drills twirl slowly, no louder than a whisper, gathering grains that have rested undisturbed since the formation of the solar system. Magnets sweep along, attracting metallic fragments while leaving the stone intact. You inhale the image deeply. You exhale, letting the calmness spread through your body like the orchard's own patience. Microgravity as a partner. In the absence of gravity, every motion must be slow and intentional. A misstep could send grains floating endlessly, untethered. But here, in this gentle, weightless environment, microgravity is your partner. It allows metals to lift, drift, and settle softly into containers designed to cradle them like seeds in a hand. You watch as particles rise, spin, and gently descend back into place, forming a slow, mesmerizing ballet. The quiet hum of solar-powered thrusters punctuates the silence, each one like a small breath, keeping everything in balance. You exhale, letting your chest expand with wonder, inhaling the stillness that surrounds you. The orchard holds its breath with you, teaching patience through motion and silence. Harvesting the fruit. The metals collected are tiny pieces of cosmic history, each one a story of stellar creation. You imagine holding a fragment, cold, smooth, and full of light, older than Earth itself. You smile softly, amused by the notion of gathering fruit from a garden billions of years in the making. The orchard allows it, but only if your touch is light, if your movements are considerate, if your patience is absolute. Samples are sealed carefully in containers designed like seed pods, each one preserving the story inside. The process is slow, methodical, respectful. Every grain is acknowledged, every particle considered. This is harvesting without violence, gathering without greed. You feel the orchard's quiet approval in your chest, as though each breath you take is mirrored in its own timeless rhythm. The glow of metals beneath the surface. You drift closer, observing the asteroid's inner composition. Light catches subtle metallic veins, revealing shimmer beneath the dull stone. It is not bright or harsh, merely persistent, patient. A quiet reminder that there is richness hidden in even the roughest skin. You imagine running your hand through it, feeling warmth radiating from sunlight-warmed patches, sensing how the metal pulses with memory of stellar fires long extinguished. You inhale, letting the image soak in. You exhale, feeling the calm pulse of creation echo through your awareness. Even in this mechanical task, the orchard remains a sanctuary. Harmony in the orchard. You notice the subtle dance of machinery and asteroid. Each movement, each adjustment, each small grain collected feels almost like meditation. You breathe with the rhythm of the asteroid, the rhythm of the tools, the rhythm of the orchard itself. It is slow. It is deliberate. It is almost sacred. The orchard teaches a truth. Patience amplifies understanding. Haste destroys nuance. Respect preserves beauty. You feel the lesson in your body, in your breath, in your drifting heartbeat. Each metal fragment collected carries not only physical weight but also the calm of eons, the whisper of a solar system in formation, the gentle insistence of time passing slowly, perfectly, inevitably. Tiny triumphs. A small batch of metallic grains floats into the collection container. You watch, mesmerized, as each particle drifts, turns, and settles. The asteroid continues to spin, serene and undisturbed, and you imagine the orchard smiling softly, satisfied with your care. There is a tiny, playful humor here, the idea that humans, so often hurried, could move with such grace, such respect, in this silent orchard of the stars. You inhale, feeling your lungs expand with this harmony. You exhale, letting the image settle into every part of you. Harvesting is no longer just about metals. It is about understanding, about partnership, about breathing with a universe older than thought. Transition into the next dream. You drift back slightly, observing the asteroid in its newfound orbit, knowing that the fruit has been touched but not bruised, its secrets gently shared without disturbance. You feel a quiet satisfaction, like leaving a garden untouched after a careful harvest. Every grain collected is a story preserved, a fragment of time itself. And as your eyes drift to the horizon of the orchard, a gentle question arises. Once these metals are gathered, how do humans use them while still among the stars? How do they transform harvested fruit into tools, habitats, and life-sustaining systems without breaking the serene rhythm of the orchard? You inhale softly, carrying that question like a lantern. You exhale, drifting forward, ready to explore the next chapter, where the orchard itself becomes a workshop, and the fruits collected begin to shape human presence among the stars. You glide gently through the orchard, past asteroids floating silently in the dark, each a patient bearer of metals, minerals, and ice. The warmth of distant sunlight spills softly across your shoulders, and your breath rises and falls in quiet rhythm with the drifting stones. The orchard has grown in your mind, vast, ancient, full of untold potential. Now, the fruits you have guided and touched hint at the next step: transformation. How might they become tools, structures, and life in space without disturbing the orchard's delicate calm? You inhale slowly, you exhale gently, and in that exhale, the first structures appear in your imagination. A workshop in the void. You picture factories drifting between asteroids like leaves between branches, suspended by nothing, supported by sunlight and subtle tethers. These structures are slow-turning, careful, deliberate. Solar-heated smelters glow softly, not with fire, but with harnessed light. 3D printers rotate lazily, extruding metals layer by layer, each movement precise, measured, patient. The orchard is no longer only a garden of stone. It becomes a workshop, a place where matter itself bends quietly to human curiosity and care. You sense the rhythm of construction. Each tool, each conveyor, each arm moves in harmony with the floating rocks around it. Microgravity allows components to drift gently into place, colliding softly, finding alignment naturally. You inhale and feel your chest expand with the gentle wonder of it. You exhale and feel a connection to the slow pulse of creation in the orchard. Here, growth is deliberate, almost meditative, each step an extension of the same patience you carried while observing and harvesting the fruits. The magic of microgravity. You watch a printer extrude a lattice of metal into a frame for a future habitat. The frame drifts upward, slowly spinning to allow the next layer to attach. Particles of metallic dust shimmer in soft sunlight, tracing arcs as they settle gently into place. There is no hurry here. There is no clatter, no smoke, no harsh noise. Even the hum of machinery feels like a lullaby, syncing with your own steady, calm breathing. You let your hands float as though shaping the same structures with invisible fingers. Every rotation of the asteroid, every shimmer of the metals, every movement of the factory arms is a part of a slow cosmic dance. You inhale, you exhale. The orchard has not been disturbed. It flows around you, silent, patient, abundant, building from stardust. You imagine raw metals, gathered from the cosmic fruits, being melted gently with solar energy. They pour softly into molds or coils, forming beams, plates, and wires. Some metals combine to form alloys with properties uniquely suited for space. Strength without weight, conductivity without loss. You picture tiny sparks of light dancing along the edges, like morning sunlight catching on dew, harmless, mesmerizing. 3D printers use these materials to create habitats, tools, and even new machines, all designed for floating, all designed to respect the orchard. Every structure is a conversation with the cosmos. Not demanding, not violent, simply shaping, folding, and building in collaboration with the universe. You inhale, feeling the warmth of the process. You exhale, letting your mind rest in the soft rhythm of creation. The orchard as workshop. You notice how the orchard itself seems to guide the work. Asteroids drift in slow, predictable orbits, allowing easy access. Tiny pieces of metal left behind from earlier harvests are carried gently on the breeze of microgravity to new projects. The entire environment feels like a calm, living workshop, where every object, every motion, every particle contributes to a larger harmony. You see engineers floating through microgravity in quiet concentration, their movements fluid, almost dance-like. They are gardeners of this cosmic orchard, pruning, shaping, and nurturing both machines and metals. You inhale deeply, syncing your breath with theirs. You exhale, letting the rhythm of space itself resonate in your chest. Soft industrial harmony. Factories hum softly with energy captured from sunlight. Molten metals glow faintly, not harshly, but with the calm intensity of a lantern in a dark forest. 3D printers click and whir in deliberate cadence. Robots move with grace, assembling components as if arranging blossoms on a branch. Nothing here disturbs the orchard. Everything contributes to a slow, balanced growth. You imagine the smell of space, or what your mind interprets as smell. A clean, metallic warmth that mingles with the subtle glow of machinery. You feel the satisfaction of watching progress unfold, not through frantic movement, but through deliberate, respectful expansion. Every inhale carries the possibility of creation. Every exhale leaves behind a soft imprint of calm accomplishment. Structures that float. You picture habitats forming from metals harvested and refined, shells suspended in space like glassy fruit hanging from invisible branches. Solar panels unfold slowly, reflecting light in soft ribbons. Storage tanks drift beside them, filled with water ice melted from distant asteroids. Even fuel production seems meditative. Energy flows gently, chemicals combine without haste. Everything obeys the quiet laws of patience. You notice tiny craft gliding between structures, carrying materials with feather-light thrusters. Their paths curve and bend gently, like butterflies among orchard trees. The entire scene unfolds at a pace that encourages calm observation. You breathe in, letting the imagery fill your awareness. You breathe out, letting the orchard itself cradle your mind in gentle rhythm. The expansion of the orchard. You drift backward and take in the view. The orchard is no longer only a collection of asteroids. It has become a network of workshops, habitats, and floating structures. Metals harvested carefully have been transformed into tools, shelters, and machines that serve the orchard itself. Every project grows slowly, organically, in sync with the rhythm of drifting asteroids and sunlight. You feel a gentle satisfaction, not of ownership, but of belonging. You are part of the orchard now, a quiet, deliberate presence among the trees and fruits of space. You inhale deeply, letting the vastness fill you. You exhale, feeling connected to each metal vein, each floating structure, each whisper of solar light. The orchard has taught patience, care, and wonder. A soft question ahead. And yet, as the factories hum and habitats float, a gentle question forms in your mind. How will the orchard sustain life beyond machines and metals? How will water, fuel, and essential resources flow quietly alongside the structures? The orchard has been a teacher of patience, and now it offers another lesson. Life in space is not only about building, but about nurturing, maintaining, and flowing with the rhythm of the cosmos. You inhale, you exhale. The thought drifts forward like a feather, opening the door to the next chapter, where icy fruits, water, and fuel become the lifeblood of exploration, and the orchard extends its quiet care to all who traverse its branches. You drift further into the orchard, where the metallic fruits begin to share space with something different. Icy asteroids, pale and delicate, glimmering faintly under distant sunlight. Their surfaces are soft and glistening, like frost on the tips of leaves in a quiet forest. You inhale slowly, feeling a gentle chill in your awareness. You exhale, letting the stillness of the orchard settle into your bones. Here, the orchard offers a new kind of fruit, one that nourishes life and fuels journeys. Water, locked for eons in frozen veins, waits patiently to be discovered. You sense the weightless promise of life within these icy stones, a resource as precious as the metals you have guided and harvested. The orchard extends its care to you, reminding you that even in space, balance is essential. The soft glow of ice. You float close to an icy asteroid, tracing its contours with your eyes. The surface shimmers in pale blues and soft whites, catching sunlight in fleeting glints, like frost sparkling in early morning. Tiny cracks and ridges suggest layers of frozen history, water trapped since the solar system was young. You inhale, feeling the coolness of the image settle like a gentle sigh. You exhale, letting your awareness drift over every facet of the stone. These icy fruits are fragile, patient. You imagine robotic arms extending toward them, moving slowly, carefully, tracing the contours with precision. A scoop lifts a small sample, letting grains float freely in microgravity, each one sparkling like a tiny star. No force, no rush, only gentle curiosity and respect for the orchard's delicate balance. Water as life and fuel. Water is more than liquid. In the orchard, it is the essence of possibility. Melted, it can sustain human explorers. A sip in weightless cups, a gentle stream flowing through habitats. Transformed, it becomes fuel. Hydrogen and oxygen separated and stored for engines that will carry future travelers deeper into space. You imagine the cycle as serene, almost meditative. Icy asteroid melts, water flows, hydrogen rises, oxygen floats, life and movement born from patient observation. You inhale the vision, feeling its cool calm settle in your chest. You exhale, letting your awareness float with the gentle streams of energy and matter. Even in transformation, nothing is hurried. Every drop, every molecule, follows the orchard's rhythm, guided by patience and care. Harnessing the elements. Small machines hover near the ice, solar-powered heaters melting patches slowly, so the asteroid retains its form. Tiny collectors gather the water, letting it float gently into tanks designed to cradle the precious fluid. You picture the containers drifting like seeds, each holding potential for life or propulsion. Everything occurs without noise, without turbulence, without rush. The orchard approves, its presence quiet but palpable. You imagine energy flowing gently into reactions that separate hydrogen from oxygen. The process hums softly, almost inaudible, like the pulse of distant stars. You inhale, letting your mind's eye follow each molecule drifting into its assigned container. You exhale, feeling the balance of science and calm coexist in your awareness. The orchard sustains life. These icy fruits remind you that the orchard is not only a provider of metals. It is a nurturer of life. Water enables astronauts to drink, to cook, to grow plants in microgravity. It fuels engines, powering journeys between branches of the orchard itself. The orchard teaches the rhythm of giving. Provide slowly, carefully, abundantly, and without haste. You inhale, absorbing the lesson. You exhale, letting the orchard's wisdom settle deeper. The orchard now feels more complete. A symphony of metals, ice, and potential. You float among asteroids that carry fruit for machinery and ice for life, each resource balanced, each contribution deliberate. You imagine future explorers moving calmly between them, harvesting without disturbing, nurturing without overreaching. Patience is their guide. Respect is their companion. The orchard thrives in quiet harmony, sensory harmony. You drift past a cluster of icy asteroids, watching sunlight refract through crystalline surfaces. Tiny vapors rise and swirl in weightless arcs, like gentle mists on a calm morning. You inhale the cool imagery. You exhale, feeling your own presence drift with the mists. The orchard whispers its calm. Life is sustained not by force, but by gentle guidance, by understanding, by attentive care. Your gaze shifts to the distant horizon of the orchard. Metallic fruits glint faintly beside the icy stones, and you notice how the entire system, metals, ice, factories, habitats, flows together, as if choreographed by time itself. Every element serves a purpose. Every movement is slow, every presence respected. A quiet question emerges. And yet, as you float among ice and metal, a gentle curiosity surfaces. How will humans live within this orchard? How will their presence harmonize with the rhythm of the drifting fruits, the flowing ice, the quiet factories? The orchard has offered resources patiently. Now it invites reflection on stewardship, on the human touch, on coexistence. You inhale, letting the question linger like a soft breeze. You exhale, drifting further into thought, ready to explore the next chapter, where humans themselves move among the orchard, tending, learning, and breathing with the rhythm of the stars. You drift slowly through the orchard, past metals glinting faintly and icy fruits catching soft sunlight. Factories and habitats float quietly among the drifting stones, humming a gentle rhythm that seems to pulse with your own breathing. You inhale deeply, feeling calm curiosity expand in your chest. You exhale, letting the weightless stillness wrap around you like a warm blanket. Here, the orchard invites a deeper reflection, not on how to move asteroids or harvest metals, but on how to do so with care, respect, and responsibility. The fruits are ancient, patient, and immense in their silent wisdom. You realize that every gentle touch carries consequence. Every choice echoes through billions of years. The age of the orchard. You imagine the asteroids as trees in a forest older than Earth itself. Each metallic fruit, each icy vein, has drifted in silence since the solar system's birth. You inhale, feeling the weight of time settle gently into your awareness. You exhale, letting the knowledge of their age fill your mind with awe rather than fear. To harvest, to move, to use, all must be done with understanding. The orchard has witnessed the birth of planets, the formation of metals, the cycles of light and shadow. It does not demand anything, yet it offers abundance to those who approach with reverence. Patience as guidance. You sense that patience is the first ethical principle. Hasty moves, violent extraction, or thoughtless interference could disturb not only the asteroid, but the intricate balance of the orchard. You visualize slow, deliberate actions. Careful mapping, gentle tethers, subtle nudges of gravity, and meticulous collection of samples. Breathing slowly, you imagine yourself guiding each movement as though tending a tree that has grown for eons. Inhale, notice the shimmer of metal beneath rock. Exhale, release the desire for speed or control. The orchard teaches you that patience is both science and morality. Stewardship across space. You see future humans floating among the orchard's branches, acting not as conquerors, but as stewards. They observe the rotation of asteroids, the glow of metals, the delicate frost of ice. Every choice is measured: which asteroid to approach, which fruit to touch, how to collect without taking more than is needed. You inhale, feeling calm responsibility expand in your chest. You exhale, letting a sense of partnership with the orchard fill your awareness. Ethical harvesting becomes not a rulebook, but a gentle dialogue with the cosmos itself. Law, wisdom, and moral questions. Legal frameworks and treaties exist in human society, but here in the orchard, ethics take a poetic, mindful form. What does it mean to own a piece of something billions of years old? How do you measure value beyond metals, water, or fuel? The orchard offers no numbers, only presence. You inhale, imagining these questions floating like soft clouds among the drifting asteroids. You exhale, letting them settle gently without pressure. Every decision, every choice, becomes a meditation in respect and humility, an invitation to act as part of the orchard rather than above it. Responsibility and wonder. Even as you float, a soft awareness grows. The orchard's beauty, patience, and abundance carry a weight. Each harvested metal, each melted ice vein, is a reminder that humanity is not separate from the cosmos, but woven into it. You inhale deeply, feeling the gentle hum of life and machine, of past and future, settle in your chest. You exhale, letting gratitude and curiosity intertwine. Ethics here are simple in principle. Observe, act with care, respect the silence, and let patience guide. The orchard is a teacher, not a resource to dominate. Its lessons are gentle, enduring, and infinitely patient. A quiet question forward. As you drift past asteroids now tenderly guided, you sense a soft question forming. If humans can move, harvest, and build in harmony, what kind of future will emerge from this orchard? Can curiosity and necessity coexist with reverence and restraint? You inhale, feeling the question as a feather brushing your awareness. You exhale, letting it float, unresolved, toward the next vision of the orchard. A future where humans, machines, and drifting stones exist in quiet, abundant collaboration. Transition to the next chapter. You float slowly past shimmering metal veins, icy veins, and gently rotating habitats. The orchard's silence envelopes you. Ethical reflection flows into hope and imagination, like a river blending with the ocean. Ahead lies the next chapter, a vision of civilizations and industries among the stars, where the orchard's gifts support creativity, life, and possibility. You inhale softly, exhale fully, and drift forward, ready to explore what the orchard can nurture for the future. You drift slowly through the orchard, past metals glinting faintly and icy fruits catching soft sunlight, past habitats and factories humming gently in the rhythm of space. Your breath rises and falls, slow and steady, echoing the weightless calm of the drifting stones. You inhale deeply, filling your awareness with the vastness of possibility. You exhale, letting the serenity of the orchard settle in your chest. Here, the orchard opens to a vision, a future written in stardust, where humans, machines, and drifting fruits of metal and ice coexist in quiet harmony. A vision of expansion. You imagine the orchard stretching farther than your eyes can follow, a vast network of asteroids, habitats, and human presence, all moving in delicate balance. Each metallic fruit, each icy vein, has been guided gently, harvested respectfully, and woven into a tapestry of growth and exploration. You inhale, feeling the enormity of potential fill your awareness. You exhale, letting it settle like starlight on your skin. Factories hum softly, structures rotate slowly, and water flows in weightless arcs. Metals gleam faintly, refined and repurposed. Each element contributes to a broader system, an orchard now infused with the pulse of human curiosity and the care of patient stewardship. Civilizations among the branches. You float alongside habitats and stations, imagining communities of humans moving calmly in microgravity. They tend plants, monitor resources, guide robotic arms, and breathe with the rhythm of the orchard itself. Every action is deliberate, every gesture in harmony with the floating garden. You inhale, sensing the warmth of life persisting even in the emptiness of space. You exhale, feeling the calm pulse of civilization growing organically among drifting stones. The orchard is no longer just a garden. It is a cradle of creativity, a stage for the quiet unfolding of possibility. Interwoven technology and nature. Machines hum softly beside humans, shaping metals into tools, habitats, and infrastructure. Energy flows gently from solar collectors, molten metals drift in slow arcs, and water cycles through habitats and fuel tanks. Technology here is not loud or domineering. It moves in harmony with the orchard, each process measured, precise, and respectful. You inhale, noticing the interplay of machine and stone, human and habitat. You exhale, letting the calm rhythm of coexistence sink deeply into your awareness. The orchard teaches patience, balance, and humility, principles that guide every choice in this future. Potential unfolding like blossoms. You imagine new industries rising from the orchard's gifts. Materials for construction, water and fuel for travel, metals for tools, and knowledge harvested from each asteroid. Each innovation unfolds slowly, like blossoms in a quiet grove, guided by observation and care rather than haste or greed. You inhale, imagining yourself drifting among these developments, observing the soft choreography. You exhale, letting the serene sense of progress fill you without urgency. The orchard whispers its lesson. Abundance flows naturally when nurtured with patience, hope, and reflection. As you float, you sense a gentle optimism. Humanity, guided by the orchard, can expand, explore, and thrive without violence or haste. Civilizations may rise, industries may flourish, and knowledge may deepen, all while respecting the ancient rhythm of the orchard itself. You inhale, feeling hope bloom like sunlight on distant metal veins. You exhale, letting calm assurance settle in your chest. Here, in the orchard, possibility and responsibility exist together as natural partners. The orchard as teacher. Even as the future stretches infinitely, the orchard remains a teacher. It offers wisdom without words. Patience, care, observation, and harmony. Metals, ice, habitats, and humans all contribute to a delicate ecosystem of growth. You inhale, sensing the quiet pulse of guidance. You exhale, letting it flow through your awareness, settling into the calm rhythm of space itself. A gentle question ahead. And yet, as you drift past shimmering metals, flowing water, and floating habitats, a soft question forms. How will humanity continue to balance curiosity, ambition, and reverence? How will they ensure that the orchard, ancient and patient, remains intact even as new civilizations flourish among its branches? You inhale slowly, letting the question float like a feather. You exhale, letting your attention drift forward, ready to explore the orchard one last time in a final reflection. You float slowly through the orchard one last time, past metallic fruits that glint faintly in the soft sunlight, past icy veins that shimmer like quiet rivers frozen in time. Habitats and factories drift gently, humming their soft, mechanical lullaby. Your breath rises and falls with the rhythm of this serene cosmos, slow and deliberate. You inhale deeply, feeling the weightless calm expand through your chest. You exhale, letting the quiet presence of the orchard settle into every fiber of your being. This is the orchard in its entirety. Ancient, patient, and abundant. Each drifting asteroid, each carefully harvested fruit, each human presence moving gently in harmony. All of it exists in perfect, unhurried balance. You sense the calm wisdom of billions of years embedded in stone, ice, and light, whispering softly to those who approach with care. You drift past a metallic asteroid you guided earlier, observing the faint shimmer of nickel, iron, and platinum beneath its surface. You remember the soft hum of tools, the delicate ballet of particles in microgravity, the gentle rhythm of collection. Nearby, icy asteroids glisten like frost-kissed leaves, their water waiting to nurture future explorers. You inhale, remembering every touch, every careful movement. You exhale, feeling gratitude ripple through your chest. The orchard has shared its secrets with patience and generosity. There is no urgency here, only a quiet invitation to witness, learn, and respect. You imagine humanity moving calmly among the branches of this orchard, floating with careful grace, tending habitats, machines, and resources. Every action is deliberate, measured, and harmonized with the slow rhythm of the drifting fruits. You inhale, sensing the pulse of life thriving in microgravity. You exhale, letting the stillness of the orchard cradle you in warmth and calm. The orchard is more than a resource. It is a teacher, a sanctuary, and a companion. Its ancient stones, shimmering metals, and icy veins all remind you that curiosity and patience can coexist. You feel a gentle connection, a deep resonance with the cosmic garden that has opened before you. Every harvested grain of metal, every drop of water, every floating habitat, all have found their place. Factories hum softly, machinery moves gracefully, and humans drift like careful gardeners among the trees. You inhale, feeling the totality of this calm ecosystem. You exhale, allowing it to fill your awareness with serenity and satisfaction. The orchard is complete in its cycle, yet ever present, ever patient. There is no rush, no ending, only the quiet continuity of space, the slow dance of asteroids, and the gentle heartbeat of human curiosity moving in harmony with cosmic time. As you drift past familiar stones and shimmering ice, you notice the soft glow of sunlight filtering through the orchard. You feel a profound gratitude for the lessons of patience, for the quiet wonders of metals and ice, for the rhythm of life and technology existing in harmony. You inhale, letting gratitude wash over you like warm light. You exhale, feeling your body and mind fully present, at ease, and aligned with the orchard. The cosmic garden has taught you to move gently, observe patiently, and marvel quietly. Its fruits, its branches, its drifting presence, all are gifts to those who approach with respect and wonder. You float slowly away, past each asteroid tree, past every habitat and flowing water vein. The orchard remains behind, glowing softly, patient, and abundant. There is no urgency, no hurry, no pressure. The orchard sleeps, as it has for eons. You inhale one last time, letting the rhythm of the orchard fill you. You exhale, letting it carry you gently into calm reflection, into rest, into sleep. The orchard awaits, always patient, abundant, silent, and as you drift, weightless and serene, you realize that this garden, this cosmic sanctuary, will always be here, quiet, timeless, and ready to welcome those who come with curiosity, care, and wonder.